happy for that. We've got a lot of high schoolers here, college guys, young adults. That's what it's going to take. And so what we want to start off with is a brief Q&A between B-Rob and I, where we'll discuss some of the things that we want to figure out, right? I think that in order to find solutions, you've got to reverse engineer it. So you start with the problem and then ask questions, right, to find that solution. After B-Rob and I talk, we'll invite a couple other community members up to continue that conversation, and we'll also open it up to a couple of questions and take it from there. So to start it off, B-Rob, we'll address the elephant in the room. Obviously, you being a kid from the city of Tuscaloosa, having the career that you had at the University of Alabama, going to the Washington Commanders, and then your rookie season, just having a crazy situation occur, right? In your opinion, what do you feel like is the most important thing people need to know in terms of what you took from that, how you grew from that, and how you feel as if the next generation can learn from the different struggles that you've had, the obstacles that you've overcome, and how can they apply that in their lives?
Well, I can just start by saying, obviously the circumstances was very unfortunate, for, what happened, and I'm gonna touch on it because I want y'all to understand, what I went through and how I overcame it, so as y'all know, I was a victim of gun violence back in August of last year, on a simple Sunday evening, around the same time during the day, like 4:30 p.m. I was just driving my car in Washington, D.C. when some young guys tried to, run up on me and jack me for my car. I obviously responded the way I did, that, led to the guys, shooting and, attacking me. But, a long story short, you never really know, when something bad or something, something gonna approach you. And, you just gotta always have the positive, thoughts and, mindset to just overcome, anything that come your way. And, that was probably one of the biggest situations in my life where I just really had to persevere and, overcome. And, I had to be bigger than, what I was up against. And, and I'm still fighting that fight every day. I'm still overcoming. I'm still, grieving and finding a way to, balance, the happy with the sad. And, trying to, continue to be a positive influence, continue to influence people, and continue to, work and, follow up in my career and, do everything I've been, working to do my whole entire life. And, it's a blessing to still be here with y'all and to be able to sit before y'all and talk about, just, what I went through and what I overcame. And today really is, we hope to just leave some type of message with somebody in here, to just leave with y'all kids or y'all younger ones to just, continue to just be yourself, never let nobody, lead you one way or the other, always be who you want to be, and can't nobody tell you, where to go in life.
Amen, amen. You hit it on the nose with that, B-Rob, when you explained, man. I'm just taking the cards that I was dealt, and I'm playing with it, right? I'm moving forward every single day. For those that don't know, I was dismissed from the football team at the University of Alabama in 2017, and the Bible verse that really stood with me in that moment, B-Rob was one of my biggest supporters, man. For the young athletes in the building today, you're going to have 1,000 people in the room on signing day, but there will be significantly less people in that room when the ball goes flat, right? And so the people that you can call on when you're balling on Saturdays, right? When you're making those plays on Saturdays, you want to make sure those are the same people that you can call in 10, 15 years, right? Or if you were to get cut the next day, right? Those people will still be there for you. Genesis 50:20 says, "What man meant for evil, God meant for good, which currently taking place, the saving of many lives." B-Rob, what is a direct message that you want to give to this next generation in terms of what man meant for evil to you, right? What the things that the devil sent to attack you, right? For everyone in the room, I think it's imperative for us to acknowledge that whenever you have an anointment on your life, and B-Rob, we've had this conversation sessionally, bro. You have an anointment, bro. You're one of God's sons. That's what we call ourselves, bro. We're one of God's sons. But the reality of being one of God's sons is that it comes with a thorn in our side, like Paul, right? In Phil 4:13, he says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He's not saying, oh, yes, I can do anything I want to accomplish, but he's also saying I can deal with this thorn in my side, right? How do you feel that you can now utilize Genesis 50:20 to help people, and specifically this younger generation, circumnavigate issues like the negative influence of music or the negative influence of social media and its relation to gun violence?
Well, it's easier for me now, just, based off of my platform and, just the position I'm in to, to positively influence the guys or the generation, beneath me and specifically like the young guys sitting right here in front of me. I was that, in that age range before and I didn't have it figured out. I was still trying to figure out, you know, everything in life and I might have didn't have the guidance that I needed, but I had the people that I can easily lean on and teach me and guide me in the right direction. So it really starts with us. We got to be the influence and that we showing the younger generation, just how to live and how to grow up and be successful young adults. And it starts with us. Always I believe it's going to always start at home. I never wanted to blame like the kids for the decisions they make because I feel like everything is influenced. But for me, I just regardless of being in a bad situation and that almost like just doing something to me mentally, I'm still finding ways to positively influence and find ways to put people give people ideas and thoughts to want to do the positive things in life to set you up for your life and be successful in life. And so that's really the message that we trying to give off today. It's a message of positivity and peace for our younger generation so that they don't grow up and make the same mistakes that we seen the same young guys make around us, just like the young guys that attacked me that was 15 to 17 years old, still kids, probably supposed to be in school on that day, whatever, but at the same time, we're trying to avoid that happening in our in our community and for the generation beneath us.
No, that's real. That's real. We talk a lot about this, and that's the unfortunate reality is that we talk too much, right? How many calls to action have y'all heard, right? How many gun violence rallies have y'all heard, right? Raise your hand if you've attended a gun violence rally or seen a flyer about a gun violence rally or seen something saying stop the violence, right? Right? Has the violence stopped? Exactly. Talking's not going to do it. Right, it's got to be strategies. If we're getting ready to play Auburn in the Iron Bowl and we just have motivational speeches the whole week instead of preparing, we're not gonna win that game. We're gonna get beat like a drum. And I think it's the exact same thing when we look at the crime rates, we look at the violent crime statistics amongst that 13 to 17-year-old demographic. We're losing that battle. Right, we're all in a game against the crime rate. At the end of the day, that's our ultimate competition is the crime rate, and trying to lower that as possible. We talk a lot about strategy, right? I think that's the most important thing. One of the things that Coach Saban talked to us a lot about was the process. Something that Coach Eatman and I have spoken about in the past is how can we apply that same process to every single kid, right? How can we take them through a system where Coach Saban brought us in and essentially brainwashed us. He indoctrinated us. You're going to do this. You're going to show up. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. These little Sabanisms, right? We recognize that God blessed us with certain abilities to be able to play at certain levels, and everyone doesn't have that opportunity. Everyone doesn't get that opportunity, but everyone does have the opportunity to apply themselves to a methodical process, to a system, and wake up every single day. When we were in the back and you were talking about being in the NFL, and you said, "Man, how do people get satisfied?" Right? How do we take that same competitive integrity that we had when playing football at Alabama that you currently have playing in the NFL? How do we take that and instill it in? Lil' bro, what's your name, lil' bro? Malcolm, my name is Donnie. This is my brother right here. This is Brian Robison. Brian had practice yesterday. He flew all the way down here just so he could talk to you. God put you in this room for a reason so you could hear what he's saying. So I need you to put your phone down and listen to him, okay? I appreciate you. I love you. So like I was saying, B-Rob, what do you feel like some of the actual strategies in terms of programs, resources, what do you feel like the need is in the city of Tuscaloosa and just the United States of America at a macro level?
Well, I feel like there's several ways to combine the youth and just with programs like when we was coming up, we had Boys and Girls Club. Man, I can remember so many days where like I'm in elementary school. I'm y'all age. I'm taking my football pass to Alberta Elementary with me just to get on the bus to go to the Boys Girls Club to spend my whole day after the Boys Girls Club all the way up until football practice. That's how my days look. but there was a program that just kept me out of trouble, kept me, busy doing something, and also, around other kids, that was, doing the same things I was doing, in the same activities that I was doing. So, we just got to find a way to, keep all of that combined, find a way to combine the kids and all the kids that have the same motives and the same mindset, and keep those guys together and help them grow together. Because I feel like, it's a team effort, these guys, these young kids can really help each other grow up into being special. Like, man, these guys going to the draft, best friends, lifelong friends, and worked and pushed each other all these years, constantly, like consistently, year after year, and now, number 1 and 2 pick of the draft, best friends.
Come on.
So like, I feel like, we can. That's something we can build here. But it's gonna start with everybody. We just gotta find a way to combine and have everybody united, and continue to put more programs like boys girls programs, sports programs like Little League. Try to find a way to put more Little League teams and things that like we had that really helped us grow up into the sports world and made us want to stay in tune in sports and stay in tune in school. I feel like that's what we're missing in the generation now. It's just everybody just dying out of that. Everybody feel like it's hard to get a scholarship, or it's hard to push for the NFL, and that's what I'm here for, to show like it's not hard if you apply the energy the right way, if you put your time into the right things, if you invest in your time into the positive things. Everything you think about when you get mad, all the bad energy you push out, you can push into positive things, and like school, finishing school and stuff like that. So, it's just all about decision making, and that's the voice we're trying to give out now.
Amen, amen. I think kind of piggybacking off of that, one really, oh yeah, for sure. Give him a round of applause right there, for sure. That was beautiful. For sure. One of the things that Councilman Matthew Wilson and I have spoken about a lot as well is, we're athletes, right? And so all our lives we grew up playing ball. That was our escape, right? We're putting in work no matter what it is. That's our escape, right? We're going to work every single day, whether it's football, basketball, track, baseball. We just want to ball, right? We want to make it to this next level. We want to do whatever it takes to get there, right? But additionally, with that, recognizing that everybody's not an athlete, right? B-Rob and I played together at Alabama. B-Rob and I don't play together with the Washington Commanders, right? That ball goes flat for everybody at a certain point in time, right? And so figuring out how we can better prepare our next generation for when that ball goes flat, or if they never decide to pick up the ball. Councilman Wilson and I talk a lot about providing opportunities in the arts, right? I think a lot of times when we talk about music, right, we mentioned that earlier, the negative influence of music and how it correlates with the hyper-masculine, the hyper-violent community and environment that we have. But a lot of that stems from the music, but the music that we refer to as gangster rap is reality rap. These guys are rapping about stuff that they see. We talk about the young boys and the Kodaks and, oh, why are they saying all this crazy stuff in the music and they just keep glorifying violence? They're not glorifying it. They're telling you what they see. And if they haven't seen it directly, then they've been impacted by it to the 2nd degree or the 3rd degree, right? And so I think that instead of it being referred to so often as gangster rap, it's reality rap. The issue is not why are they playing this type of music. No, why are so many young black kids specifically resonating with this music? Why do so many kids hear Young Boy and say, bro, I feel him, I understand him? When Young Boy sings, I feel like a lonely child. Why do they feel that? You see these young boys, I was at my daughter's school last week, and they started playing some Ride Wave, and everybody in the school started singing like it was a gospel song. I'm like, why are y'all so depressed in the 1st grade? And so I asked, what do you think are ways that we can change that reality, and how can we create opportunities for guys through mentorship that aren't like us, right? Like you've set the blueprint for making it to the NFL. How do you think mentorship helps the youth in terms of setting that Northern Star for them? What's your thought process on the importance of mentorship?
Man, mentorship go a long way, man. To be honest, man, everything my mentor like instilled in me, that's what I wanted to do. I just felt like, he always had my best interest. He always, made sure that, I was accountable to everything, made sure I was making the right decision making. When I was young age, like, I can't say it's hard for me to speak on the music because there's so many different varieties of music, and everybody got their own taste, everybody got their own class of music, and I just feel like you should just go with a music selection that best fits you and the life that you want to live. I don't think you should, necessarily try to like push off a certain brand of music that is not, you or the life that you live, and I think that's where, the kids like they're misled, and it's bad because a lot of kids, like you said, they're hooked on to these crazy rap music and stuff like that with life that they never lived, and come from great families and households, being well taken care of their whole lives and never lived none of the music that they listen to, and it's like it's misleading them into a life that they never seen, never lived, none of that, and it leads them into hang around with the crowds of people that that also listen to the same music and have those same struggles and feel the same way, and it's a bad combination for people who generally don't need that for to be successful and to fit in with a crowd of people, or I think people just do certain things for attention and reason and get around or get around people. But I feel like you gotta have your own balance with everything. You gotta have your own motive, your own mindset. You gotta really run your own race. You gotta be your own person with everything you do, and that's going to determine where you're gonna go.
Amen. That reminds me of what we were chopping it up about earlier. Even something with the music industry, and the reason why we speak so much about the music industry is because that's one of the most influential factors over our youth, right? The music and social media specifically, right? And so trying to find ways where we can portray better images for our youth and for this next generation. We want to give them new models, right? We want to give them new role models. We want to teach them, hey, take this route, take that route, right? What I love the most within the music industry is that, man, there's so many different opportunities, right? Yes, you can be the rapper, you can be the artist, but you can also be the producer, right? Shout out to Cash. You can also be the engineer. You can also be the talent management, right? Everything takes a team, right? We were talking earlier, and you're like, man, Trey, you can do this. You take this route, right? Yes, there's NFL players, there's NBA players, right? But there's also NFL owners and NBA owners. There's also agents. There's also general managers, right? So whether a kid wants to be an anesthesiologist or he wants to play in the NFL, giving them those blueprints, man, that's what separates it right there. But real quick, I wanted to invite a couple of the other guys that are going to join us on the panel. I'll let Coach Joe bring them up. But before we do that, man, I'm so honored and so humbled just to share this moment with you, man. Just watching you come in as a true freshman and seeing you deal with that every single day. Like, we chopped it up, bro, like, I'm just going to keep working, control what I can control, leave the rest to God. We're sitting there, and you were patient, bro. You were patient. You sat there, and you watched guys like Damian. You watched guys like Josh Jacobs. You watched guys like Najee, Derrick Henry, all of these guys, and not once, bro, did you complain. I never heard you complain once, bro. You never ran. In the age, even I know this, we were before the transfer portal, bro, but we still could have dipped. You never ran. You didn't let anybody run you out your city. And every person in this room is thankful for that, bro. You ain't run, bro. You ain't run, bro.
I'm gonna share something with y'all real quick, just based off what Donnie Lee speaking to y'all right now. So it was hard, and it took 5 long years, but I wouldn't go back, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world, and it was a time where I didn't know where my future was gonna lead me, or if there was gonna be a future for me, after, Alabama, at a time in my career when it was getting later on in my career. I wasn't playing much. I had never been a starter by that point, and I was going into my last year of eligibility. I had already graduated, so I was really on my last leg at school, and it was I had to make a decision after my graduation, if I was going to come back for my 5th year senior year, which, I had to come back to school for an extra year, which was hard. But I came back, ended up, starting that year, that being my first year, being a starter. And, like you said, I ran for over 1,400 yards, caught for over 300 yards, and, 16 touchdowns, and first team All SEC, and got drafted. But I did all of that, like, just 1 year. And I could have left and tried to go somewhere else and finish and figure it out, but I just left. I left everything in God's hands, and I trusted Coach Saban, Alabama, and that whole program. I trusted that they was going to lead me in the right direction, but I also had to be a professional about my business. And the whole year that I came back to set myself up for what I'm doing now. And like you said, it's a blessing, and I'm so thankful I stayed home to do it.
Amen. Can't see that far.
Okay, to the parents, my mom's sitting right here in front of y'all. Everybody, she listening to everything I say. So when it comes to uncertain situations and bad decision making, like, one thing about me, if I made any bad decision, I made a choice of decision, anything, I would never blame my parents or my mom for always telling me the right thing to do. If my mom is telling me the right thing to do and I do the wrong thing, I can't blame my parents for giving me the right guidance, but me being hard-headed to go figure it out on my own. There's a lot of stuff I had to figure out on my own too, because I was hard-headed sometimes. I didn't listen. But that's so much harder than actually just listening to your parents and what they're telling you. It'll make your life so much easier than going to actually find out on yourself, because you can go find something out on yourself, and you can end up in jail or calling from a jail phone, or you told me not to go with them, you told me not to hang with them, and I still hung out with them, and now we in something. So, like, I feel like your parents and everything, they're gonna always have your best interest. They're gonna always give you the guidance you need for your best interest, for you to be successful. They're never gonna leave that seed out to dry. They always gonna do everything they can to help you. So I would never blame parents for the bad decision making in the youth, but you also got to understand that comes from the guidance at home. So I would never go out and embarrass my mom based off of how she, the guidance I get at home. Why would I go out in public and act a certain type of way based off of how she raised me? She raised me to be a respectful young man. I'm not going to go out and be a knucklehead just because she not, with me or not around me. So I got to be a respectful young man all the time, and that's based off of how I was raised at home. So that's where you can, look up to the parents of, like, what are you doing at home to, the reason why your kids act a certain way when they leave out the house. So.
It's real. Man, you hit it dead on the nail, man. And B-Rob, I don't know if you remember, bro, but about a year ago, you and I had a real intimate conversation right before everything happened, where I called you and I had a little situation happen in my life. And, bro, you walked me through that whole thing, bro. I was emotional, bro. I'm on the phone in tears, bro. I'll never forget you, Brian, and Lotto, bro. Like those are the three people that I cleaned on to the most during those times, bro. And you guys helped me understand, man, this is how you get through this situation, bro. And understanding that, bro, what you do is going to set the blueprint for your daughter. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that, bro, we're all reflections of our fathers. If you all, stand up real quick for me, Daddy. Y'all see the reflection? Y'all see the reflection? And it took having the right people around me for me to recognize that, right? I have my shortcomings as a father, just like my father has his shortcomings and his father had his, but all three of us are doing the best that we can do, right? And that's my call to action for every man in here that's a father or a father to be one day down the road. We got to step up. We've got to step up. We've got to lead. We've got to be servant leaders, right? We've got to have more of these conversations, but then compound these conversations with actionable steps, right? That's what it takes. We're all God's sons. We got to continue to move in that light. But man, before we bring up the rest of the panelists, B-Rob, we appreciate your loyalty to the city of Tuscaloosa. Man, the blueprint that you've set for the city of Tuscaloosa, the role model that you are for this generation, the next generation, and for generations to come. And man, with that being said, bro, we want to present you with a key to the city of Tuscaloosa, man. Yes, sir. You see, we got there it is, right underneath the right thing. Yeah, sir. Roll Tide. Love you, brother. Appreciate y'all. Coach, if you want to bring
Like y'all said, well, we're receiving this. I don't even know how to feel, to be honest, but all I know is, man, I worked so hard my whole life. I'm still working every day. Just keep the journey going. And I wanna touch any soul I can. With my story and any other youth like beneath me. I just want to help, just grow up to be the best they can be better than me. And I just I want to hope to just keep touching, reaching out and touching people's lives. As I keep working in my career. I'm gonna go as hard as I can.